President Barack Obama has declared a major disaster in Oklahoma after the state was hit by a devastating tornado. The twister killed at least 51 people and flattened entire neighborhoods. There are stunning images coming from the devastated area. Meteorologist David Payne from our affiliate KWTV was on the scene when the tornado touched down.
Southwest side of Oklahoma City, looking off to the west, Newcastle right here, and there it is, folks. Large tornado. That's a large tornado. It's going to be an eighth of a mile wide, a few hundred yards wide. Winds in there well over 150 miles per hour. Now going from an EF2 to possibly an EF3 tornado. That's going to be a deadly tornado. And look at it forming right now just to the west and southwest sides of Oklahoma City. We now drive right toward the half-mile wide maxi tornado with winds well over 200 miles per hour. Our next stop is southwest 149th and May. Listen to the roar. Oh, guys. It's like a waterfall. No, listen. If you're not below ground, you will not survive this tornado, Gary, unless you have a safe room. This is a killer tornado. The motion is amazing. Look at the motion here, Gary. It's crossing Western. It's about 200 yards west of Western, Gary. It's getting ready to cross Pennsylvania south of 134th. South of 134th. It's crossing right now about a half mile south, Gary. It's about ready to cross I-35. I'm at 134th in Moore, looking off to my south at this monster, at this absolutely killer tornado. All right, we're on the east sides of Moore. This is Sooner Road. Look at the tornado. Look at what's going to be an EF3, EF4, maybe an EF5 tornado. Listen to the roar. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like rushing water. Look at the tornado right here. Absolutely amazing. Winds in there well over 200 miles per hour. It has cut a path from Newcastle through Moore, now East Moore, and that is a violent tornado. That is that's a killer tornado, no doubt about it. And look at the motion there, and you can hear it. Listen to it. Listen to that noise.
Joining us over the phone now from Oklahoma City is storm chaser Ben McMillan. He was in the hard-hit town of Moore when the tornado hit. Ben, good morning.
Good morning.
It must have been a pretty tough few hours for you. Give us a sense of what you saw when the tornado was hitting the town of Moore.
We were northbound on the Interstate 35 corridor there, and we watched to our west, and a large tornado developed almost right over the city. In most cases, as storm spotters, we kind of watch tornadoes start off smaller in most cases, but this one started off just very violent, and it formed right over the city, which is very abnormal.
So this was something outside of even your experience as a storm chaser?
Yeah, I've been storm chasing for over 10 years, and I've seen other high-end tornadoes that are rated, the EF5s, which are the largest tornadoes that they rate, and this one was at least that level, if not higher. It really blew those out of the water. I mean, it was almost more than a mile wide at times, I would have estimated, and it just kept on growing and growing and growing.
When you're watching something like that size, I want to know how does it feel? Does it feel like something you can outrun? Does it look like it's moving fast, or is it sort of this wall sort of inching forward?
It was actually moving fairly slow. So we felt comfortable tracking it from the south because we knew it was moving to the northeast, and it really is just something you never want to encounter in your life because it would fluctuate in size. And we actually, at the end of our drive before we stopped to aid the victims, had pieces of debris falling onto our vehicle. So at that point, it was kind of widening, and we were lucky to be so close and not have any serious damage occur.
So tell me about that. You said you stopped to aid some victims immediately after the storm blows through. What do you do?
Yeah, I've been through EMT training. I'm not affiliated with any particular fire department, but I've been through the class and I know the skills. We went into search and rescue mode. We actually stopped right outside of the hospital in Moore, and the ER had been destroyed. So it was a very unique situation. We were pulling nurses out of the rubble, people that normally help others, and that was probably something I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
You know, that's some good information because I think some people might not understand what storm chasers do. Not only are you, collecting this valuable information, but you're also able to help. What did you see right afterwards? Give us a sense of the damage.
It was catastrophic. The entire roadway was covered with mud and insulation and pieces of wood. And not only was it covered with it, but it was still falling from the air. So this was a long duration event, and it ripped everything in its path. The tornado did up and just dropped it back on top of us. And I mean, obviously the flying debris was tremendously dangerous for anyone or any buildings that were out there, and it's just a miracle that, it didn't hit more, as large as it was, more of the area, not more of the city. So.
We saw some of the images from earlier, but now it's dark. What is the situation now? What do you see?
The emergency personnel are really taking control of the situation now. They have a great presence on the ground. They've been through this before, but even the most seasoned veterans, shouldn't have to deal with this as many times as the Oklahoma City Metro has.
And so, sort of, what's next for you? Will you continue to follow the system?
Yep. The next, actually today, this afternoon, there'll be thunderstorms probably in and around the Dallas Metro, so this threat continues through the week.
How difficult is it to get around at this point?
It's almost as if the tornado sliced the city in two. This was unique because the other two tornadoes that impacted the Oklahoma City Metro in the last 10 to 15 years have lifted at points, but this one stayed on the ground throughout the duration as it traveled through the city. So if you can imagine an imaginary line just cutting the city in half, because these damage areas are almost impassable with the debris. Now, I know the Oklahoma Highway Patrol and other agencies have been working hard with end loaders and any other heavy equipment they can get their hands on to clear the debris off roadways like the interstate. But in terms of residential streets and other areas that are less, of a priority to open up, it's probably going to be a long time before this city is back to normal.
You mentioned helping some people that you came across who were injured and helping nurses even. Have you spoken to some of the people in the area? What sort of stories are you hearing? What are they telling you?
I think the pace that it happened at was really something that surprised people. Normally, a tornado this large forms, and it takes a while to get up to its peak intensity. And in this situation, this tornado formed over to the city, and then immediately was a very, very high intensity. And when you have a situation like that where the tornado drops so quickly, it's much more harder for the folks to get the word out, both the television stations and the National Weather Service, and it really presented a perfect scenario for a major disaster today. Very tough thing to witness.
All right, storm chaser Ben McMillan, please stay safe out there. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.